Welcome to Daily Global Motivation, the place where powerful ideas challenge you to think bigger, work harder, and rise above the ordinary. Today's message is about separating yourself from average thinking, average habits, and average results so you can build a life that reflects your true potential. Most people live their entire lives following the same routines, accepting the same excuses, and staying trapped inside their comfort zones. They talk about goals, but rarely commit fully to achieving them. They wait for motivation instead of building discipline. They dream about success while repeating habits that guarantee mediocrity. If you truly want a different life, you must become willing to think and act differently from the majority. Greatness is rarely comfortable because it demands sacrifice, focus, and consistency. If you stay until the end of this message, you will understand what separates highly successful individuals from people who remain average year after year. This message is not meant to insult anyone. It is meant to wake you up to what is possible when you raise your standards. Subscribe to Daily Global Motivation so you never miss powerful content designed to push you toward growth and discipline. Now take a deep breath, focus your mind, and prepare to separate yourself from average thinking forever. One of the biggest differences between average people and exceptional people is the way they use their time. Average individuals often spend hours distracted by entertainment, gossip, and activities that produce no meaningful progress. Highly successful people protect their time because they understand that time is life itself. Think about Elon Musk, who became known for structuring his days with intense focus while managing multiple companies simultaneously. Regardless of opinions about his methods, his discipline with time is undeniable. Productive people understand that every hour invested wisely compounds into future opportunities. They prioritize learning, building, and improving instead of endlessly consuming distractions. Average people often seek comfort first. Exceptional people focus on growth first. This difference may seem small daily, but over years, it creates completely different lives. Time either becomes your greatest investment or your greatest loss. And learning to control your time is one of the first steps towards separating yourself from average thinking. Another major difference is the relationship people have with discomfort. Average individuals avoid discomfort whenever possible. They avoid difficult conversations, difficult goals, difficult learning, and difficult responsibilities because comfort feels safer in the moment. But growth almost always requires discomfort first. Think about David Goggins, who transformed his life through relentless discipline and mental toughness after years of struggle. He constantly speaks about how growth happens when you push beyond what feels comfortable. Exceptional people understand this deeply. They willingly enter situations that challenge them because they know pressure builds strength. Average people stay where life feels familiar. Strong people embrace situations that force improvement. Every difficult workout, every productive habit, and every uncomfortable lesson becomes training for a stronger future. And the willingness to embrace discomfort often becomes the foundation of extraordinary success. Also need to understand that average people usually focus heavily on excuses while successful people focus on solutions. When challenges appear, average thinking immediately searches for reasons why something cannot be done. Exceptional thinking searches for ways to adapt and continue moving forward. Think about Jack Ma, who faced repeated rejection before building Alibaba into one of the largest companies in the world. He could have allowed rejection to become an excuse for giving up permanently. Instead, he treated every setback as motivation to improve and persist. This mindset changes everything. Excuses protect comfort temporarily, but destroy progress long term. Solutions create movement, learning, and growth. Every successful person faces obstacles, criticism, and failure at some point. The difference is that resilient individuals refuse to let those obstacles define their future. And developing a solution-focused mindset Separates leaders from followers. Another thing that separates exceptional people from average people is consistency. Most people become excited temporarily and then lose momentum when results take longer than expected. They start strong but stop quickly. Successful individuals understand that greatness is built through repeated effort over long periods of time. Think about elite athletes who train for years before reaching championship levels. Their success is not built through one dramatic moment. It is built through thousands of disciplined decisions repeated consistently behind the scenes. Average people often depend entirely on motivation. Exceptional people build systems and habits that continue even when motivation disappears. They understand that consistency compounds into extraordinary results over time. Small disciplined actions repeated daily become life-changing eventually. And consistency is often the hidden force behind every major achievement. Asterisk. You must also pay attention to the people you surround yourself with, because your environment quietly shapes your standards, your mindset, and your future. Average people often spend time with individuals who reinforce excuses, negativity, and small thinking. They normalize procrastination, complaining, and lack of discipline until those behaviors feel acceptable. Exceptional people intentionally build environments that challenge them to grow. Think about Warren Buffett, who has often spoken about the importance of surrounding yourself with people who are better than you in important areas of life. The people around you influence the decisions you make and the expectations you place on yourself. When your environment encourages ambition, your standards naturally rise. Conversations become more focused on ideas, growth, and opportunities, rather than excuses and distractions. This is why successful individuals are careful about what they consume mentally and emotionally every day. Your environment either pushes you toward growth or quietly pulls you toward mediocrity. And changing your environment can completely change the direction of your life. There's also a major difference in how average people and exceptional people respond to failure. Average individuals often allow failure to destroy their confidence completely. One setback becomes proof in their minds that success is impossible. But resilient people treat failure as part of the learning process. Think about Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before successfully developing the electric light bulb. Instead of seeing those attempts as wasted effort, he saw them as necessary steps toward discovering what worked. That perspective is incredibly powerful. Failure only becomes permanent when you stop learning and stop trying. Every mistake contains information that can improve your next attempt. Exceptional people understand that setbacks are temporary, but growth can be permanent. They continue refining, adapting, and improving while others quit too early. And the willingness to keep moving despite failure separates extraordinary individuals from average thinkers. Another thing you must understand is that average people often seek entertainment constantly, while exceptional people seek education and growth. This does not mean successful people never relax or enjoy life. It means they are intentional about what they consume mentally. Think about Bill Gates, who became known for reading extensively and constantly learning, even after becoming one of the most successful people in the world. Highly successful individuals understand that knowledge compounds over time, just like money and habits do. Every book, lesson, and meaningful conversation expands your perspective. Average people often spend hours consuming content that adds little value to their future. Growth-focused individuals invest their attention into learning skills, ideas, and strategies that improve their lives. Your mind becomes stronger when you feed it valuable information consistently. Over time, your thinking becomes sharper, more creative, and more disciplined. And intellectual growth becomes a major advantage in every area of life. You also need to realize that average people usually wait for perfect conditions before taking action. They delay goals because they want certainty, confidence, or guarantees before beginning. Exceptional people understand that clarity often appears after action starts, not before. Think about Sarah Blakely, who started Spanx with very limited resources and no business background. She did not wait until she felt completely prepared. She learned through action, adaptation, and persistence. This willingness to move before everything feels perfect creates momentum that average people never experience. Action builds confidence faster than endless thinking ever will. Waiting too long often becomes another form of fear disguised as preparation. The people who separate themselves from average thinking are usually willing to start before they feel ready. And that courage to act creates opportunities most people never discover. At some point, you must decide whether you truly want an extraordinary life or whether you simply enjoy imagining one. Because the truth is that exceptional results require exceptional standards. You cannot continue repeating average habits while expecting uncommon success. Strong people become intentional about their routines, mindset, and discipline because they understand that every small choice matters. The way you spend your mornings matters. The way you respond to pressure matters. The way you handle distractions, failure, and discomfort matters deeply. Every decision either strengthens your future or weakens it. Average people drift through life reacting to circumstances. Exceptional people lead themselves intentionally. And the moment you raise your standards, your life begins changing in powerful ways. Asterisk, there comes a point where you must stop trying to fit into environments that are keeping you small. Many people hide their ambition because they are afraid of standing out or being judged. They lower their standards to stay comfortable around people who do not challenge them to grow. But exceptional people understand that growth often requires separation. Think about Cristiano Ronaldo, whose commitment to discipline and improvement separated him from average standards early in his career. While others relaxed after practice, he continued training because he understood that greatness demands extra effort. That mindset created extraordinary results over time. If you want uncommon success, you cannot always follow common behavior. Sometimes you must become willing to be misunderstood while building your future quietly. Growth may temporarily separate you from comfort, but it also brings you closer to your potential. And protecting your ambition becomes necessary if you truly want a different life. You also need to understand that discipline is one of the greatest forms of self-respect. Average people often act based entirely on emotions and temporary feelings. When motivation disappears, their habits disappear with it. Exceptional people build routines that continue regardless of mood. Think about Jocko Willink, who constantly speaks about discipline as the foundation of freedom and personal growth. He emphasizes waking up early, taking ownership, and maintaining consistency even during difficult days. That level of discipline creates confidence because you begin trusting yourself more deeply. Every promise you keep to yourself strengthens your identity. Over time, your habits shape your mindset, and your mindset shapes your future. Discipline teaches you how to continue when excuses feel easier than effort. And people who master discipline separate themselves naturally from average thinking. Another major difference between average people and exceptional people is the way they handle criticism. Average individuals often allow negative opinions to stop them from pursuing meaningful goals. Fear of judgment becomes stronger than the desire for growth. But successful individuals understand that criticism is unavoidable whenever you attempt something ambitious. Think about Steve Jobs, whose ideas were often criticized before they eventually changed entire industries. If he had depended completely on public approval, many innovations would never have existed. The truth is that people who think differently are rarely understood immediately. Sometimes criticism simply means you are moving in a direction others are too afraid to attempt themselves. Strong people learn how to listen to constructive feedback without allowing negativity to destroy their confidence. They continue improving while remaining committed to their vision. And that resilience allows them to keep progressing while others stop too early. You must also stop underestimating the importance of focus in a distracted world. Average people allow their attention to be controlled constantly by social media, entertainment, and endless distractions. Their focus becomes scattered and their productivity weakens. Exceptional people protect their attention carefully because they understand that focus creates results. Think about how entrepreneurs, athletes, and high performers structure their days intentionally to reduce distractions. They know that deep focus allows them to develop skills and ideas at a much higher level. Every distraction steals energy that could have been invested into growth. This is why successful individuals create boundaries around their time and attention. They become selective about where their mental energy goes. Focus strengthens productivity, creativity, and momentum. And mastering your attention becomes one of the most valuable skills in modern life. Right, now your future is being shaped by the standards you tolerate daily. If you tolerate laziness, excuses, and lack of discipline, those behaviors slowly become your identity. But if you begin demanding more from yourself, your life starts changing immediately. Higher standards lead to stronger habits. Stronger habits lead to better results. Better results increase confidence and momentum. This process compounds over time until your entire life begins transforming. The people who separate themselves from average thinking are not magically different from everyone else. They simply become more intentional with their mindset, habits, and actions. They stop waiting for perfect conditions and start building themselves consistently. And that commitment to growth eventually creates extraordinary outcomes. Asterisk. Now listen carefully because this is where everything begins to change if you truly apply these lessons to your life. Separating yourself from average people does not mean believing you are better than anyone else. It means refusing to settle for a life controlled by excuses, distractions, and wasted potential. It means becoming intentional about how you think, how you spend your time, and how you respond to challenges. Average thinking keeps people trapped in comfort while years quietly disappear. Exceptional thinking pushes people toward growth, even when growth feels difficult. Think about how every successful person you admire made decisions that most people were unwilling to make. They sacrificed comfort for discipline, entertainment for focus, and excuses for responsibility. Those decisions slowly separated them from the majority over time. Greatness is rarely created through dramatic moments alone. It is built through consistent standards repeated daily. And the standards you choose today will shape the life you experience tomorrow. You also need to understand that becoming exceptional requires patience because meaningful growth takes time. Many people quit too early because results do not appear immediately. They expect transformation within weeks while ignoring the years of discipline often required for greatness. But successful individuals understand the power of consistency. Think about Kobe Bryant, whose legendary success came from years of relentless practice and preparation behind the scenes. The world saw championships and achievements, but they did not always see the thousands of hours invested quietly in training. The same principle applies to every goal you pursue. Every productive day compounds into future progress, even when results are not yet visible. Patience allows discipline to continue long enough for momentum to build. The people who separate themselves from average thinking are often simply the people who refuse to quit too soon. And long-term consistency creates outcomes that short-term motivation never could. There will also be moments when your growth feels lonely, because not everyone around you will understand your vision. Some people may question your ambition because your discipline reminds them of the effort they avoid themselves. Others may criticize your focus because it challenges their comfort. But you cannot allow outside opinions to control the direction of your future. Think about Oprah Winfrey, who faced criticism and enormous obstacles before becoming one of the most influential figures in media. She continued believing in her purpose even when circumstances became difficult. That resilience transformed her life completely. Growth often requires believing in yourself before the world recognizes your potential. You must protect your mindset carefully during those seasons. Confidence grows when you continue moving forward despite doubt and criticism. And staying committed to your growth journey eventually separates you from people who stop too early. Now this message comes down to one final truth that you must remember every single day. Average lives are built through repeated excuses, distractions, and comfort-driven decisions. Extraordinary lives are built through discipline, focus, resilience, and intentional growth. You already have the ability to become stronger, more focused, and more disciplined than you are today. The question is whether you are willing to raise your standards and commit fully to growth. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, because time keeps moving forward with or without your action. Start building habits that support the future you truly want. If this message inspired you, subscribe to Daily Global Motivation for more powerful content designed to strengthen your mindset and push you toward greatness. Like this video to help this message reach someone who may be trapped in average thinking right now. Comment below, "I refuse to be average," if you are committed to raising your standards and building a stronger future. Share this video with someone who needs motivation to stop settling and start becoming the best version of themselves.